Hi everyone, and welcome back to Alana and Jamie. Now we've all been in the situation where you've been dating someone, you've chosen to finish it, and some smug married friend or annoying relative is like, "Oh, you're being too picky." Oh, look, it's not true most of the time, and we want to unpack this and give you some tools for knowing, when to end, when not to end. Am I being picky or am I not?
Yeah, absolutely. So we all agree on the following, I think, right? If you say no to the wrong person, that is not called being too picky. Yes, okay.
Right.
Now, what happens if you say no to the wrong person? And it happens several times. There's plenty of wrong people that come your way, and it can take several months. It can even take, God forbid, longer than that, right? And you keep on saying no to the wrong person. Is that called being too picky?
No.
No. The only problem with being too picky is when you give yourself a high chance of saying no to the right person. Say no to the wrong person is what we're looking for, but we want to be saying yes to the right person.
100%. Now, one of the things that people I think where we feel people may get it like a little bit wrong is a strong word, but like where there's some confusion, is the difference between like, I'm really not feeling this, and like, I'm really not feeling it yet.
Yeah, that's right. Because all the great stories that we hear and all the great movies that we hear, they're predicated on one model, okay, which is that the moment that I saw them, I knew.
Our eyes locked across the dining room, bar, restaurant, dance floor, college classroom,
Igloo,
high school, igloo is important.
Igloo's an important one, right? There is a paradigm, and it happens. It's not just on Hollywood. Hollywood got it from somewhere, right?
And it's beautiful when it does happen.
It is beautiful where somehow you were hit by a bolt of clarity, even though you didn't have all the information, and you knew, and then you started going out, and it just confirms it more and more and more, but it's an instantaneous thing. It's such a cute model, and it's so romantic, but there's a problem with it. The problem with it is that if it's the only model that we're going to believe in, then we're going to reduce our chances of experiencing the other very real models that also happen. Where
right, Alana says sometimes, like, speak to your married friends or speak to people that are in good relationships and ask them, like, when did you know? It's not going to be that every single time, like, I just knew within 10 seconds, I just knew. There's all different ways that the penny can drop for people in terms of a relationship. And it's really important to kind of broaden your understanding of what, maybe I'm not feeling it, but the truth is I'm just not feeling it yet.
Yeah, that's right. And by the way, when we talk about when the penny drops, we're talking about the penny dropping for the answer to be no and the penny dropping for the answer to be yes. Sometimes you walk into a situation and you are completely clear without the person opening their mouth that this is not going to work, and you're right. And sometimes you walk into a situation and before you've even communicated, you know that this is going to work, and you're right. But there are also times where it takes a little bit more time to get enough information to think, this is not for me. And there are times where you really need to get to know a person, and it can surprise you that over time you think, wow, this is really something special. Have you ever heard of friends who are good friends before and they never dreamt they'd marry each other, and then at some point, like, the penny drops? The process of when you know whether the answer is a no or whether the answer is a yes can take time, and it usually takes time.
And it's allowed to take time. And I guess that's the point that we're trying to come to address over here. If your sense of what your intuition needs to be is not correct, if that sense is off, you're going to find yourself, choosing no or sometimes choosing yes incorrectly. But if your process of understanding what your intuition should be based on, how it feels, right, you're giving that enough time and enough breath, right, then that's going to be a great tool for helping you to make it, to avoid being picky, but instead being able to pick the right person.
That's right. So if you know very, very clearly, very quickly that it's no, that's great. But if, because you didn't feel it was an immediate yes, you're assuming that that's an immediate no, that's a big mistake.
That's a big mistake. Okay, so that's tool one, and we're going to follow up with a couple of others in future videos.